Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Alexandria, and I am a freelance health content writer with a background in nursing. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to find clients through social media. Now, this is a favorite topic of mine because social media can be a beast, especially when you are trying to promote something like writing. When people go to social media, oftentimes they're looking for video content. They're not looking for written form. And so you really have to spend some time learning how to convert your content writing to video. And it can be fun. I know when I first started, I hated the camera, and now with practice, just like people told me, I have no problem getting in front of the camera and just talking. And I think the most important lesson that I've learned throughout the process is to show up as my most authentic self, and that makes everything that much easier. So let's get started. So when you are starting out as a freelance writer and you've gotten, an article published, or you just want to promote yourself as a freelance writer, I highly recommend that you start by choosing just one, maximum two social media platforms that you want to promote yourself as a freelance writer on. For the record, I don't consider LinkedIn to necessarily be a social media platform. I do think that LinkedIn is separate because LinkedIn has promoted themselves for the entire time that they've been around as a professional networking platform. And so what you put on Twitter, you're not putting on LinkedIn. What you put on TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever else they got going on by the time this video come out, you are likely not putting that content in that fashion or manner on LinkedIn. So I'm talking specifically about these platforms that are dedicated to socializing and letting your hair down and not being so, my name is Alexandria Jones Patton. I'm a registered nurse with a PhD in nursing. Follow me. You don't, you can kind of let your hair down and kind of take the mask off, so to speak, on other social media platforms. So I'm talking about those, not including LinkedIn. So I recommend that you start with just one, maybe two, and this is because each of these platforms has a different audience, and it can be really hard to learn the needs of different audiences. You really want to focus in. I made a video before about identifying your target reader. Your target reader is not going to be 27 to 69 more than likely. So your target reader is likely not going to be in the same geographical location. They're probably not going to have the same or likes of someone who is not interested in your topic or in you as a freelance writer. So I hope that makes sense. What I'm saying is that every platform has a specific audience, and within those specific audiences, you should be able to identify your target reader. And it's great to go broad with trying to identify your target reader, but that can also be a challenge and make things a little bit more difficult on you as you're writing your articles and content. Sometimes you just can't speak to the masses. You can if you're writing, like I've mentioned a lot in previous videos that I've written about primarily evergreen articles, articles that are covering specific medical conditions and signs and symptoms of those, and risk factors for those, and treatment options for those, and how to diagnose and how to live with, that can be a nice way of staying broad. But sometimes even then, your target reader, or the person who continues to come back to you specifically as the writer, they probably fit within a specific audience. So That is why you have so many social media pages or social media platforms that are out there, because they have different target audiences. So start with one and then post regularly. That really is it. There's a lot of things that you can post. I put on in my notes here, reels. A lot of people are really digging reels right now. And if it's YouTube, YouTube Shorts, a lot of people are digging that content where it's like the nut graph in your article. It's that introductory paragraph that really just kind of grabs people and hooks them and makes them want to read the rest of your article. If you can master or get comfortable with creating reels, that is going to probably more likely increase your visibility and draw people to you. And you might be thinking, well, I don't have anything to talk about. Why would I, how do I create reels? What topics should I be even thinking about? I have some for you. So you can definitely create reels about your articles, and this gets a little bit easier when the articles are something that you're passionate about. So I have a video where I talk to you guys about identifying your why. And this is important. If you're writing about stuff that you just don't care about, publishing it or posting it to social media and really starting to build a fan base around you as a writer, it's probably not going to work out well. Other reels that you can create are things related to your experience as a freelance writer. So I know that I've created not a ton, but some reels about just everyday life and experiences. I remember one that it didn't go viral, but it got a lot of likes and hits. I was talking about a morning where, the morning got away from me because things were happening. I think I don't know if I woke up late or if I took too long at the gym that day, but I was just like, I've got work to do. And, it's already 10 a.m. and I'm just now stepping into the office space, my day job. And I remember saying, people should really know this about freelance writing. Like, this is great, because even though I was showing up later than normal to my day job, it also was a space for me to talk about the fact that with freelance writing especially, and with my job as a nurse researcher, people are not watching the clock for me. There is no clocking in to relieve someone else and then clocking out after someone relieves me. That was one of the benefits of is one of the benefits of being a freelance writer. And I made a reel about exactly that. I had, something was going on that day, and it just threw off my entire morning. I'm very rigid about my schedule. I'm most productive in the morning time. And I said, I'm starting my day with just 2 hours left in the morning, and where do I go from here? And the reality was, I can go right into what I was doing, because no one was really focused on the fact that I got my day started late. And people love that. It's that authenticity. I hope that makes sense for y'all, because I know I'm just rambling at this point. But anyway, you can create, back to reels, other topic ideas for reels of you being on a podcast. So create some shorts or some reels about your time on a podcast, or your time where you're able to highlight yourself on a platform about yourself as a freelance writer. When you create those reels, it really kind of gets people thinking, freelance writing, let me see what this person is talking about. Let me see what they write about. Is this something that I'm interested in? Can really increase your visibility. Other reels that you can create, just of you doing something that you think is fun, something that you find enjoyable. Attention spans can be short sometimes when we go on social media, and it really is about creating those things that people, gravitate towards within the first 3 seconds. And sometimes you just out there doing something funny or silly or cool that other people don't typically get to experience will draw them into you. So you don't have to, be professional all the time about your reels. You can do something that's just showing a version of your personal life. Another real idea is to create tips and tricks for other freelance writers. So I know when I first started out with getting myself comfortable in front of the camera, I would have a weekly tip just for freelance writers. And it was related to, my experiences, things that I had been through my first year as a freelance writer, from getting my first client to networking to really kind of identifying myself not just as a freelance writer, but a freelance writer specifically in, heart health or in mental health or in women's health, and more specifically Black women's health. The more you start to really tap into the experience of being a freelancer, there are bound to be lessons that you're going to learn, and you should absolutely share those with other freelance writers because they might be going through it too and just don't know how to navigate. And it's an awesome way for you to identify yourself as an authoritative figure in freelance writing or in a specific topic that you write about. And then as you grow, I would recommend that you start thinking about ads to further promote yourself. So I highly recommend that as you are developing or growing as a freelance writer, you don't spend a ton of time worrying about ads. You really should be focused on just growing your community organically, right? Because you want those people who truly identify with you as people who are going to follow you. And then as you start to grow, you may decide that you want to have ads as a way to expand on your freelance writing business. So maybe you are ready to start thinking about affiliates that you may want to work for, or maybe you are in a space now where you want to expand into public speaking, or maybe you are in a space where you want to advance into being an editor. It's not absolutely necessary to create ads. I'm not telling you that you must do it. It's not a do or die type situation, but it is something that may help you grow your brand visibility if you are thinking about expanding your business beyond writing freelance articles. Okay, so that's all I have for today on this topic. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe to this channel.